Boom! Kablamo, welcome back, peeps. We're back with the biggest league of all, the GTTCC. We are live with a fusion lobby tonight. These are the elite drivers out of the GTTCC. 7 different lobbies open tonight, right now, all doing the same tracks, all racing the same circuits. We have a double header tonight for round 2. Both races will be from Tokyo. We've got a 15-minute qualifier, followed by 2 30-minute races. Race 1 is at Tokyo Expressway East clockwise, and race 2 I believe is East Outer. I'm probably wrong on that, but we'll find. In fact, I'll tell you what, I can have a look at this thing I've got open in front of me, which tells me I lied. So it's East clockwise for race 1 and South counterclockwise for race 2. Both tricky circuits. Not sure what the weather's going to be like here tonight either, so we'll see what kicks off tonight. I'll have to read scores out to you lot because I'm not scrolling. I'm not putting this spreadsheet on the screen and then scrolling backwards and forwards across it, but I'll read out the scores. Merch still available, people. T-shirts and stickers. Let me know if you want any of those. Hit me up at darksmoker@googlemail.com. Other than that, let's get into this lobby. So qualifying has just started. They have all just hit the track to start their outlaps. So let's get ourselves... What are you doing? Get on track. No. No. Stop it. Press the right buttons, you donut. Right. That needs to turn down because it's deafening me, and you lot can't hear a damn thing at the minute. There you go. Now you can. So, Fubuki lobby host tonight. We've got a couple of drivers returning. So round 1 last week we were missing Fat Pickles Bro and TOR Potomac Pot. Both have arrived tonight. Great big long straight here at Tokyo. There's going to be some overtakes down there if you can stick with the drivers in front. Get a bit of a tow down this long straight. Unfortunately, it's so long that it does give the drivers an opportunity to use the slipstream back on you before you get to the end of this straight, if you get it right. So, score-wise, Dylan is leading this current Fusion League. He's got himself 38 points on the board. Being chased closely by Faithless Emo, who had a good week last week. 31 points on the board for him in second. V-Show is in third with 28 points. P-Gib is in fourth with 24 points. We have Fubuki in fifth. He has got himself 26 points. We've got Hirakram in sixth. He didn't have a great start to race 2 last week. 23 points on board for him. Mocking Week's seventh. He has got 22 points on board. Janio in eighth. He has got 20 points. LFC Fan 07 in 9th. He's got himself 15 points. Got Total Rose in 10th. He's got himself 14 points. Is that right? Yes, it is. 14 points for Total Rose. Don in 11th. He's got himself 12 points. Valtteri 82 in 12th. He's got 11 points. Manny 13th has got 7 points, and the returning Fat Pickles Bro and TOR Potomac Pot obviously 0 points so far in this championship. So where are we? Just onto hot laps at the minute then. P-Gib, there you go, he's managed to get himself past Fubuki already, but Fubuki, as we'll watch, will close up on P-Gib, and use that slipstream to slingshot his way past. So they have just crossed the line. There he goes. But if we jump to Pete Gibb, he'll be able to tuck himself back in behind. He's not bothering this time. Could have tucked himself back in behind, but he was carrying about as much speed as Fabuki up there anyway. So let's have a look at grid order so far. After the first of the hot laps, we've got Fat Pickles Bro in the Bugatti. Apologies, the lobbies are still a little bit glitchy here. So Fat Pickles, he's got himself a 2:08.0 on the clock. Janio second at the minute, he's got a 2:08.1. In the Lamborghini, Faithless Emo also in the Lamborghini, 2:08.5 for him for third. Hirakram, he's got himself fourth on the grid at the minute, 2:08.6. Dylan fifth, 2:08.6 as well, so right behind Hirakram. P. Gibb, he's sixth on the grid with a 2:08.9. Lockie Weeks is seventh, 2:09.4. Don is in eighth with a 2:09.6. Manny is in ninth with a 2:09.9. Fabuki 10th, 2:10.4. LFC Fan in 11th with a 2:10.9. Valtteri 12th, 2:11.2. And Potomac Pot 2:15.2 at the minute. A lot of Lamborghinis this season. There is always a favourite car that comes out on top over everything else. This season it does seem to be the Lamborghini over everything else. Fat Pickles Bro in that great big Bugatti then, still on pole. See what happens down this long straight in a second. A lot of cars very close together. They'll all be benefiting from a little bit of a tow from each other. Oh, sounds lovely through the tunnel as well. Get headphones on, people. Doesn't sound so good through a phone or a tablet, laptop. Might be alright if you've got a great big subwoofer bolted to your TV. The noise of these things. Oh. So Dylan, championship leader, decides he's going to stick a pole sitter lap on. He's got a 2:07.7 then, so he goes 0.3 of a second quicker than Fat Pickles Bro for that pole. There are extra points available for pole and fastest lap here as well in the GTTCC, so all points to be hunted for really. Away with one of the races last week, so that puts Fat Pickles down into second. You can see how glitchy these lobbies still are. Only when they're going around a corner they skip sideways just a little bit, you can see. Jib, 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 jib. Don't know what it's like from a driver's perspective. Doesn't look very glitchy there. The cars in front are a tiny bit. Dashboard rear view camera on board for Fat Pickles Bro. That'll help him out in the when he's coming under attack at any point. Tricky hairpin this one. Let's stick with Fat Pickles. If he stays out, we'll do a lap on board with him. James told him to, apparently, and he's rocking a duck. Good lad. If you know, you know. Staying out then. Let's see what sort of lap time he puts in. 2:08.2. He's been knocked down to third. Hirakram's gone a little bit faster. So through this long tunnel then, out into the bright light of Tokyo skyline. Still on this long straight. 169 miles an hour we're doing at the minute. Up the hill, on the brakes a little bit. Don't want to go ploughing into those walls. There's a nice catch up with Hirakram there. So around that double apex right-hander into the back half of the circuit. Hirakram trying to avoid any kind of tow. He's giving to Fat Pickles, staying out of the way, actually allowing Fat Pickles to go through. So through this little left-hander, under the bridge, into the right-hander, and then into the same kind of setup, a lot tighter here on the brakes into the first bits. Again, can't carry as much speed through there. A little kink to the right, and then a sweeping right-hander. Again, a little bit tricky, this one. Does tend to push you out into the wall just like that. Into this left-hander again, another one does tend to want to push you out into those barriers just there. Fat Pickles keeping himself out this time. Up the hill, tight right-hander into a pretty tricky left. Again, this one just wants to push you all the way out wide there. Down the hill, joining the main carriageway and heading towards this tricky hairpin at the end. Get your braking right on this point. No room for error through there really. Again, tricky exit as well. Just got to avoid that wall on the way out and back onto this long start finish straight. What have we got? So 11 minutes into this qualifying session already, 4 minutes remaining. It is still Dylan on pole position. Stays out again then, tries to put in a hot lap. What's it going to be this time? 2:07. He does go quicker back onto pole position then for Fat Pickles by 0.02 of a second. Dylan won't be happy about that. Who's he fighting out with at the minute? For Buki running up the back straight. Sorry, start finish straight. Yeah, you can see in here they're just a little bit jumpy, a little bit glitchy around the corner still. It's a shame. Like Mario Kart. So Dylan's only got 2 thousandths to try and, or 3 thousandths really, if he wants to take pole properly. That's all he's got to gain. Is he staying out of the way for Buki there? He's running out of time. Fat Pickles secure pole position in race 1 here. Dylan still held pole for most of it. He's only got 2.5 minutes to have a bash at this. Hirakram then pushed down to 3rd. 2:07.8 for him. Janio in 4th. He's got a 2:08.1 on lap 2. Potomac Potts squidged himself up to 5th. 2:08.2 on the board for him. Don in 6th with a 2:08.2. Rocking Week 7th, 2:08.3. Faithless in 8th, 2:08.5. P-Gib 92 in 9th with a 2:08.9. Fabuki 10th. He's got 2:09.0. Manny has got 11th place on the grid at the minute, 2:09.0. LFC Fan 07 in 12th. He's got 2:09.8. Valtteri currently at the back of the grid. He's got himself a 2:09.8 on the clock. But there we go. A couple of people finding a bit of time then. Janio and Hirakram. Hirakram sticks himself in pole just as we flick over to him. 2:07.0. Janio gets a 2:07.6 as well. Pushes Fat Pickles down into 3rd. He's now 0.6, nearly 0.7 of a second behind Hirakram's fastest. Chasing current pole sitter at the minute. Yeah, we'll benefit off a little bit of a tow from him. Whether it's enough to gain him pole position back, we'll see. Just a minute left on the clock as well. 2-minute laps here, so this will become last lap for Hirakram and Fat Pickles at least. Majority of drivers, in fact, they're all on the same similar bit of circuit. 1 or 2 drivers lagging behind a little, but general, this is going to be the last lap for most. What has Fat Pickles got? Oh, he's into the wall. That might be the end of it. Huracram gets a wiggle on. Does upset Fat Pickles a tiny little bit. Another little nudge into the wall. Don't think it's going to be quick enough. There's a lot of time to try and make up. It's not been the cleanest of laps from Fat Pickles. So we are over that 15-minute limit. That's it then. As the drivers come up to the line, that will be it. Again, they are all on the same bit of circuit really. A couple of drivers just coming up to that final hairpin before they all hit this start-finish line for the last time in qualifying. Not quick enough, unfortunately, for Fat Pickles. He stays in third for the time being. We'll see if anybody else is able to get themselves past. It is currently Huracram on pole. Dylan second, Fat Pickles in third, Jainio in fourth, Faithless Emo in fifth, Don in sixth, Potomac Pot seventh, Mocking Weeks in 8th, P. Gibb in 9th, Buki 10th, Manny in 11th, LFC Fan 12th and Valtteri in 13th. That is grid order for race 1. Race 2 will be reversed grid as of race results at the end of this one. Right, now that 15 minutes quali's up, let me drink some coffee before it goes cold. Here we go then, race 1. Huracram on pole, Dylan second. Good start so far. Everybody trying to drop the toe already. Again, we're starting halfway down this long start-finish straight. You can see Dylan already closing up on Huracram there. Little nudge into the rear, just pushing him along. Nobody really making a move down this start-finish straight. We'll see what happens. Damn it. Give me the correct camera angle. Oh, you stupid game. Right, on 1 second, peeps. Oh no, I can do this. I can do this without leaving the lobby. Huracram and Dylan then still battling it out for P1 coming round turn 1. 1 second, peeps. Let me just shove this in there. Boom! No! Found a way. So Dylan does manage to get himself in front of Huracram then. And the chase is on. Again, Dylan managed to run away with one of the races last week. Huracram hot on his tail though, just half a second back. Pickles holding that third position. Faithless Emo's made up position into fourth. Potomac Pot fifth. Mocking Weeks in 6th, Don 7th, Buki 8th, Valtteri made up a lot of positions into 9th, LFC Fan in 10th, P. Gibb 11th, Jainio in 12th and Manny in 13th. Up to this hairpin then. Hard on the brakes, Huracram taking a nice tight line through there. Dylan went a little bit wide, Huracram having to just take a little bit of avoiding action. Now it's going to be a drag race down this start-finish straight. Just gets himself tucked back into the slipstream. Fat Pickles will benefit as well. He is closing up on this pair. Can the great big Bugatti fire his way past these two Lamborghinis? He's catching up rapidly. Swings himself out. Has he got enough grunt in that thing? Side by side. It's 3 wide then coming up to this. Oh, stop looking in the sky. Up to turn 1. It's still Fat Pickles just by a hair. Oh, hard onto the brakes. Who's going to win out here? Oh, tiny bit of contact into the wall for Dylan. That was never going to work. 3 wide through there, was it? Loses a position. Fat Pickles picks one up into second. Now Dylan closes back up on Fat Pickles. I see straight through that thing to the Lamborghini in front. Again, apologies about the jumping around, but look at the gap they've pulled from 4th position now. 1.7 seconds. And a little bit of contact into the wall. Hirakram makes a tiny bit of a gap between himself and Fat Pickles. Unfortunately, this is where Fat Pickles is going to suffer in this great big Bugatti. See Dylan's Lamborghini just itching to get past, but the size of this thing, it has got the power on the way out of the corners, but on the way in he has to just watch it. It's a great big heavy car. Dylan's just having to back off a little bit. Done it again. Give me the power. So up to this hairpin again. Hirakram back into the lead of this race. Fat Pickles in second. Dylan third. Ultimate Pot got himself past Faithless Emo into 4th. Faithless in 5th under pressure from Don on the way out of that hairpin. Rocking Weeks as well. Up a position into 7th. Hot on the tail of Don and Faithless. Buki. A little bit of a gap back, only about half a second, just over for 8th position. Valtteri in 9th, 1.6 seconds back, so out of the tow range of those drivers in front. Unfortunately, he's within the slipstream range of Janio, so Janio getting a little bit of a tow off of Valtteri down the start-finish straight. Is it going to be enough? LFC fan as well will be gaining a tow off of Janio, the same for Manny. P. Gibb, unfortunately, a little bit too far back to benefit. Now, Fat Pickles in that great big monster. This is where the car shines, you see. It's got all the power on the straight, but coming into the turns, it's just a great big monstrous lump versus the 2 Lamborghinis behind it. It looks sluggish, it sounds sluggish, but it goes like the clappers, that Bugatti. And again, difficult. It's so wide, this thing, that it's difficult to try and get past it around these left-right combinations. You set yourself up to go around one side and then he's back on the inside on the next. Very difficult. But they are hanging on to him at the minute. We'll see what happens when they come back onto this start-finish straight. Sticking with him. Again, the Bugatti just seems to have a little bit more power than the Lamborghinis. Car change. Oh no, sorry, Fat Pickles Bro didn't race last week, so that's why I don't remember seeing the Bugatti last week. Again, the 2 Lamborghinis clinging onto the rear wing of that Bugatti down towards this hairpin. Hirakram and Dylan into the hairpin. They go a little bit deep then for, I thought Hirakram had made his way past like we saw on Dylan. Now you can see a little bit of extra power coming out of this Bugatti is enough to just pull away a tiny little bit from Hirakram. Not enough to break the tow range yet, but it's enough to get him away from him out of that corner. Is it going to be enough before this turn 1 at the end? That's yet to be seen. They are closing back up on him now. Not by a lot though. But again, as they come into the twisties, they'll close back up on him. Has a little look. They are side by side. Dylan's got the advantage as they close up on Fat Pickles into the braking zone. Dylan does squeeze his way through then into second. Closes that gap between themselves and Fat Pickles as they come into these corners. Again, this is where the Lamborghinis will shine over the big heavy Bugatti. But nowhere for them to get past. Again, aren't they? So Fat Pickles then managed to get himself 0.4 of a second lead. That's all gone now as they hit these twisties. Again, very difficult to set yourself up for the overtake around this back half of the circuit. And You've just got to be reliant on power when you hit the start-finish straight. So let's have a quick run through. I have just seen that Mockin Weeks has managed to get his way into 4th position. Don up into 5th, Faithless Emo 6th, Potterman Pot back down in 7th. So he's picked up damage, Potter. He's been into a wall somewhere. Should repair itself at some point. So he can get back up to full race pace. We'll be slowing him down right about now though. There you go, front end repaired, rear end repaired. He can get back on with his race. Not under any pressure really from Janio. Janio 3.2 seconds behind him in 8th. Manny just a second behind him in 9th. Valtteri behind him 10th. LFC fan in this pack as well in 11th. Gibb bolted himself on the back for 12th, and now unfortunately it's for Buki. He's running around way back 5.8 seconds. A lot of catching up to do for Buki. Here is Fat Pickles, so not gaining the time this time over Dylan. Dragging the Hirocram with him. Oh, they're going to be able to do it here. Very late move if it is. I don't think Dylan's close enough. Again, Fat Pickles leads another lap. 9 minutes in then. Real good race between these three. I'm sure it's a good race everywhere else, but at the minute this is where it's at. These top three pulled 4.2 seconds over this next pack. Mockin Weeks, Faithless and Don for 4th, 5th and 6th. Big gap back to Janio, 6.8 seconds. Potter, where's Potter gone again? Looks like he's made another mistake. He's dropped all the way back to 13th. He was in 7th after an incident into the wall. He's not been in the pits. Tyres and no fuel been taken on board, so I don't know what's happened to Potter. Maybe just got it wrong at the hairpin, spun it round maybe. Back up to the front then, Fat Pickles still holding off these two Lamborghinis. Everyone going cautiously through there. Nobody wants to leave the door wide open for anybody else to have an attack. Back onto this start-finish straight then. Again, Fat Pickles just pulling up the odd thousandths of a second on the exit of that corner. Dylan no closer this time. Go, starting another lap. Mockin Weeks still holding the lead out of this little pack. I'll say that just as Faithless Emo has a look. Gets himself past. A lot more power on board on the Lamborghini than there is on Mockin Weeks' Ferrari. Maybe it was a little bit of benefit from the tow as well, but it did seem to come past pretty quickly right at the end there. Don now looking to hang on to the back. He's just stretched the gap between himself and Mockin to 0.8 of a second. He is still getting a tow off of these two. He's got to be careful he doesn't lose it though, otherwise he'll be stranded in no man's land. Nobody to race, still just 0.7 of a second in it. Mockin Weeks keeping him tucked onto the rear end of Faithless. Has a look up the inside actually. Himself past the Ferrari versus the Lamborghini. The Lamborghini comes back at him. Oh, contact! A little bit of bumper car action there between Faithless Emo and Mockin Weeks. Unfortunately, Mockin Weeks picked up front end damage. He is back on the throttle, but losing a lot of time. There is Janio closed right up on him. There was a 6-second gap back to Janio. It is now only 1.2 back to Mockin. Get rid of that damage before he hits this start finish straight. Otherwise Janio might have a that's it, car repaired. He might be able to keep himself out of danger from Janio. We'll see. He's just within slipstream range. There is Janio again in the Lamborghini, which seems to have a little bit more power than the Ferrari. We'll see though. Valtteri in 8th. Manny in 9th. LFC Fan 10th. P. Gibb 11th. Fubuki closing the gap up in 12th. And Potter again, unfortunately, 14.4 seconds down in 13th. So not sure what's happened to him. There's a bit of damage on the car, so he's we know he's been into the wall at some point. He's got nobody to benefit and get a toe off of either. See how he gets on. He's got another 16 minutes to play with. Here we go, Fat Pickles. Still fending off these two Lamborghinis. This has been the order since the go, really. Once Fat Pickles managed to get that big lump in front of these two Lamborghinis, there was nothing they could do. It's too wide to get past on any normal part of the circuit, and it's a little bit too quick out of the gate for them to benefit down the start-finish straight. So Fat Pickles has just got to keep doing what he's doing and hope his tyres don't blow out. If we look, racing softs on for Fat Pickles, big chunks of red missing off those 4 tyres. If we jump down to Dylan, there's a very slight line on his racing softs. A little bit more on for Hirakram as well, so that might play into the Lamborghini's hands. Again, they are slightly lighter. The Bugatti is a great big heavy lump of a car. Oh, Hirakram gets a little look on Dylan as they come out of the start-finish straight. Let's get ourselves on with that. They'll both be battling to get the toe off of Fat Pickles. Dylan just benefits most, so gets himself in front, but Hirakram will be dragged along with them. Can he use that double slipstream effect to slingshot his way past? No. Drafted to try and close up on P1. See, he's pulled a little bit of a gap, 0.7 of a second. They are just within slipstream range. They will close up again at turn 1 here. Again, the heavier Bugatti, tyres wearing out a little bit quicker, has to brake slightly earlier, coming to the corner a little bit slower. Just allows these Lamborghinis to close back up. And again, those tyres on the Bugatti wearing out a lot quicker than the Lamborghini. Back down to 0.4 of a second then. So Don gets himself in front of Faithless up into 4th then. Faithless in 5th, hunting down that 4th. There's a little look at Don. Don closes the door on him. Mocking Weeks is under all sorts of pressure from Janio at the minute. Ferrari versus Lamborghini here. He's getting into a bit of a tangle with Faithless Emo. Ended up in the wall, picked up some damage, and Janio was able to close up. He's just sticking with him at the minute. Manny in 8th then, being chased by Valtteri and LFC Fan. Fubuki not far off the back end of that fight either. Nor's P. Gibb. Pot losing a little bit more time here. To 15 seconds. This will benefit him if he stays in this position. He will be on pole position for race 2. That will leave, obviously, the faster drivers from race 1 at the back of the grid. Here they go again then, onto this long start-finish straight. You can see Fat Pickles just able to squidge out a couple of tenths on the exit of these corners. Nearly 0.6 of a second. Again, Dylan's got a mirror full of Hirakram as well to worry about, so he's got to be thinking about Hirakram having a look into turn 1. Here they get-go then. The Lamborghinis will close up again. Every lap. Doesn't seem to be affecting the Bugatti too much. The slight increased tyre wear. 2081 was his last lap. That's not too bad considering how much wear he's got on. We are over the halfway point as well. Again, Dylan and Hirakram have been putting in similar lap times as well. They've hung on to the back of Fat Pickles. They have been literally bumper to bumper since the get-go. Don then still leads Faithless in this next little battle. Janio has made his way past. Ooh, where has Mocking Weeks gone? Oh, there's been another incident. Mocking Weeks is now in 9th position. Manny's gone through. Pete Gibbs gone through. Janio is having a race of his own. He's got 7 seconds in front of Faithless. 4.4 back to Manny, so under no threat at the minute. 11.5 minutes left. Well, about 11 minutes left to be honest. We'll see drivers coming in the pits soon though. Fuel about to run out. Whether anybody decides to put tyres on is yet to be seen, but we will need fuel, that's for sure. P. Gibb then 9th, got himself past Mocking Weeks. Potter McPott up into 10th as well. Fabuki in 11th. Valtteri 12th. What's happened here? And LFC fan, he has been in the pits, taking on half a tank of fuel. Picked himself up a little bit of front end damage though. Race leaders in. Dylan in. Fat Pickles in. Hirakram's stayed out. So quite happy on his tyres. Quite happy with his lap times as well. Still putting in 2:07s. Will he come in next lap or will he run it completely dry before he comes in? Janio then not stopped, but he will be soon. He's into 2nd. Fat Pickles back out in the pits in 3rd, but he's under pressure from Dylan. Dylan's got a 3-second penalty. What happened there? He must have cut a pit entrance or pit exit line to pick up that much penalty. He's got to try and hang on to Fat Pickles, or in fact try and get past him. Will have to drop that penalty when they hit the penalty zone. I don't even know where that is at. Along the start-finish straight. Horrible place to put it if it is, but he is making his way past Fat Pickles. So Fat Pickles are not taking on board tyres, just taking on board fuel. Dylan as well, just taking on board fuel. Pete Gibb in 4th. Faithless Emo's also stopped. Fresh set of racing soft on board for him. Mocking Weeks 7th, battling it out with Don for that position. Don has just been in the pits for a fresh set of softs as well. Mocking's been in, he's taken on board fuel. Yep. Same thing, fuel only. Fabuki, fuel only. Fresh set of tyres on from Manny though, and a bit of fuel. Valtteri has just gone for fuel. LFC fan, fuel and tyres. Hirakram still out though. Still got a lap or two left in the tank of that thing. Janio as well. We should see him in at the end of this lap. Well, this is pretty much the end of this lap. Here comes Dylan then into this penalty zone. 3 seconds he's got to lose. He's going to lose a lot more than that by the time he actually gets the look how slow he's running. Bye Fat Pickles. Of this slipstream range now as well for Dylan. 3.94 seconds behind Fat Pickles. Oh, it's getting even bigger. So Hirakram been in, taken on board fuel. No tyres. Fat Pickles just 0.7 of a second behind him and closing, carrying more speed as they exit, as Hirakram exited the pits and goes for the move into turn 1. Hirakram's going to run it side by side, almost gets squidged into the wall. He backed off though, that big heavy Bugatti. Oof. Would have made short work of him, but I'm sure Fat Pickles backed off to give him that position back, but it is Hirakram back into the lead of this race. Just 0.8 of a second in it between himself and Fat Pickles bro. Dylan 3.5 seconds down, 7 minutes remaining. P. Gibb into 4th position. Has he got enough fuel on? Ooh, have you got enough fuel on, Mr. Gibb? I don't know if you have for another 7 minutes racing. Faithless Emo's got all the fuel in the world for the next 7 minutes, so he can press as hard as he likes while he's in the chase for you, my friend. Mocking Weeks fending off 2 drivers at the minute. He's holding 6th position, but he has got Don and Janio right behind him. Potter McPot in 9th. A little way back, 3.2 seconds. He's got 5.3 over Fabuki. He's being harassed by Manny and Valtteri. Unfortunately, LFC fan now at the back of the field. 9.7 seconds back. A couple of all scrapes as well through there. Here is Hirokram still holding the lead then. Now, can Fat Pickles use the all-out grunt of this Bugatti to close up and retake that pole position? Gap down to 0.6 of a second. 0.5 of a second. 0.4. Is it going to be enough before turn 1? Dylan still 3.5 seconds back. Here we go then. Fat Pickles carrying so much more speed. Flings himself past the Lamborghini. Still carrying that speed as they head up towards turn 1. Gets a quarter of a second on Hirokram as he uses the overtake. Now, can he do it again? His tyres are looking a lot worse than Hirokram's though. He's just about keeping that big heavy car right in the middle of the circuit, making it as difficult as possible for Hirokram to get past. And then using the all-out power down the straights to keep him in front. So 5 minutes remaining. Fat Pickles leads. Hirokram second. Dylan still, he's lost a bit of time as well. He was 3.5 seconds back. It has extended to 3.9. Again, he's under no direct threat. Faithless Emo has made his way past P. Gibb. P. Gibb. Have you got enough fuel on? I don't know. 5 minutes left. 4.5 minutes left. An eighth of a tank. Mocky Weeks, Janio closing up on you as well as Don. Fuel saving at the minute. These boys are catching up pretty quickly. Under threat then P. Gibb. 4 minutes remaining. His tank just flicking over to red to tell him he's almost out. And that big gaggle of drivers all over him now as he comes onto this long start finish straight. Yep, short shifting as well for P. Gibb. To me, that only means one thing: you have underfueled. As you can see, Mocky Weeks closing up massively. So, although he's got full throttle, he is not going full speed. 152, 153. Mocky Weeks already doing 161, 162 behind him. Loads more speed then. Again, P. Gibb's going to have to be careful he doesn't get swamped by Janio and Don as well if he's fuel saving for the remainder of this race. So back up front, Hirokram piling the pressure on Fat Pickles as we come up to the end of this race. Still nowhere for him to get past. Size of that Bugatti is just filling up this circuit. Oh, a little wobble there from Hirokram. He keeps it pointing in the right direction. He keeps it hard pressed onto the back of Fat Pickles. Has a little look as they run up towards the S's on the way into the hairpin. Again, doesn't want to get in front too early, does Hirakram, otherwise Fat Pickles will just use the toe and get back past you. It's got to be a run to the line really for Hirakram. Both drivers struggling a little bit here. Tyre wear kicking in, Fat Pickles under pressure now then from Hirakram. They are side by side. Again, the power of this Bugatti. You can see even with Hirakram right behind him, he was pulling away a little bit. Now Hirakram's took right into the slipstream. Oh, he got a little bit close there, a little bit of contact. He was looking to make his way past, but that tiny bit of contact. Now tries again. I think every time he pulls out, he drops speed. Only really able to keep up with Fat Pickles because he's literally bolted onto the rear end of him. Oh, I had a little think about going up the inside. There wasn't the room though. Oh, into the wall. Hirakram carries the speed. Gets his way past. This will be last lap as well. Has Hirakram pulled the blinder right at the end here to put enough pressure on Fat Pickles? Now, Fat Pickles has got to try and stay bolted onto the back of him. It's going to be tricky to do around here, though. Again, those Lamborghinis are just a little bit more sprightly than this Bugatti. He really needs to get himself tucked onto the back end of Hirakram and at least go for a run down the start-finish straight, using the toe, try and get back past. Don't think it's going to be enough now. No, it's 0.5 of a second between them. Gap only getting bigger. Again, the slightly lighter, slightly more agile Lamborghini just able to get around these corners a tiny bit quicker. Gap up to 0.8 of a second, and yeah, so unfortunately it's all going south for Fat Pickles' win here tonight. It was looking good, but Hirakram has just made sure he's kept himself bolted onto the back end. Fat Pickles does close up a little bit through there, but Hirakram keeps the gap on the way out. Even with a toe, there's no way that Fat Pickles can catch up now as they come under the tunnel. And up towards the line, it is going to be Hirakram that takes the win here. It's all down to the last lap, so he takes the win. Fat Pickles takes second. Great race between those two, and Dylan as well, really, you know, although he fell off right at the end. It was a three-way fight from the get-go between these three. Dylan takes third, then Faithless Emo fourth, Mocking Weeks fifth, Don sixth, Janio takes seventh, Bottom of Pot eighth. Buki is going to come home in ninth position. P. Gibb, just made it with fuel, just made it. Takes 10th, just in front of Manny. It takes 11th. Valtteri takes 12th. And LFC Fan is going to come home and take 13th. Nobody running out of fuel though. P. Gibb, very close. Again, there was an awful lot of fuel saving at the end of that race. Unfortunately, he lost about 4 positions due to that. So just under fueling a little bit at the pit stops for P. Gibb. Weather was good though. Let's hope it stays like that for race 2. We will just confirm. Blam, there's race positions then. Hirakram taking the win, Fat Pickles second, Dylan third, Faithless Emo fourth, Mocking Weeks in fifth, P1 Don in sixth, Janio in seventh, TOR Potomac Pot in eighth, Fabuki 2007 in 9th, P. Gibb 92 in 10th, P1 Manny Af in 11th, Valtteri 82 in 12th, and LFC Fan 07 in 13th. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Fat Pickles just saying that tiny little bit of contact at the start of the final lap was enough to unsettle him and allowed Hirakram to take the win. But yeah, real good racing between Hirakram, Dylan and Fat Pickles. That's for sure. Let's hope we see a bit more of that in race 2. Faithless Emo and Mocking Weeks also having a bit of a battle. Who else was involved in that? Was that Don? It was you three for a while, wasn't it? Right, we've got a little bit of a break then, probably 5 minutes in between race 1 and race 2. Bye, Vin's mum. Where's Vin's mum going? She's coming around here. Because obviously it should be about telling your mates and telling your mums, shouldn't it? What's up with you lot? Let's have a look. Who's kicking off in the P1 chat? Pro 1. Okay, so we've got 9 minutes till race 2 then. Yeah, there you go. So Fat Pickle's just saying that little bit of contact on screen that we noticed unsettled him, but Hirokram saying on my screen he was nowhere near him. He didn't even realise there was contact. Unfortunately, with the glitching that's happening still, that's what can occur. I mean, don't get me wrong, PS4 was no better. GT Sport, to be honest, there was times when I'm watching drivers rolling around in first and they're actually second, because the driver who is in first is ghosted out completely. For me, he's not even in the he's, you know, there's no list, he's not there. It's bizarre. Certain tracks would cause certain issues. I need to get this one sorted pretty damn quick. So a few more minutes to go then. Again, reverse grid for race 2. Looks pretty good weather. It's pretty sunny out there, but you know, anything's possible. And we are at south, the south version of Tokyo Expressway. It's counterclockwise or anti-clockwise, as we would say in normal English. 18:05. Evening, brother. You're not racing this season? Why aren't you racing? Not seen your name in a lobby for a long time, my friend. Or am I just in the wrong lobbies? So yes, reverse grid here at the next version of Tokyo. Double header here in Japan tonight. No sign of Gojira. Shame. I'm sure if you spoke to Dennis Licely, he'd squeeze you in somewhere. Taking the win every week in the Beginners League. 18:05. That's why I'm roasting. Mrs. had the eating on. Oh, you missed the first race. Oh, we're not feeling anything. Well, good job you didn't hear the scores earlier. don't watch the start of qualifying of this one, otherwise you know the scores for last week. But I may have to mention who's, who's winning the championship at some point. We'll see. Shall we go for a little looky here at Tokyo South? Right, let's have a look. Who is where on circuit? Nonsense on. I've got drivers coming up to the line, but let's stick with over. Let's go with Fat Pickles. So Fat Pickles has just crossed the line, heading up towards turn 1. Car being used, so we're back on board with Fat Pickles. What's he in for race 2? So he's gone for the McLaren in race 2. You're not allowed to use the same car for race 1 and race 2. So through turn 1, heading down towards this tricky hairpin again. It's a different hairpin. Through the shipping yard. Again, it's a very similar layout. It's a great big dog leg on the exit. To this little bit of a straight then. Right hander fast as well. You can carry a lot of speed through this if you get it right. So not quite a straight, but almost. So into the tunnel section, a little bit of a zigzag left and right on the way through here. But again, carrying all the speed. Can get overtakes through here, but it can be tricky. Slightly tighter right left over the brow of the hill, back down towards what is the pit entrance of the second of the hairpins here in Tokyo. So it's not at the start finish line. There's the pit entrance there, and the pit exit is just here. Still got a few corners to go before we hit the start finish line. So up the hill through the little left hander. Tricky left, right, left, sorry, on the way through here. Final corner being the trickiest. See a lot of speed dropped off through there, just catching the wall on the way out for Fat Pickles. Then onto the start and finish straight. 2:07.4 there. So we're not interested in lap times at the minute. Again, it will be reverse grid as of results from race 1. All drivers have to pick a different car as well, so you can't use the same car twice. Dom's in a Ferrari. Pot has gone for the Ferrari. P. Gibb is in a McLaren. Faithless Emo is in a GT86. Deep through there. Hirakram, same car. Janio, Ferrari. C-Fan Ferrari, Alpha for Valtteri. Mocking Weeks in the McLaren. Manny has gone for a Ferrari. Dylan is in a McLaren, and Fabuki is in a McLaren. So you can kind of see everybody's chosen very similar cars between race 1 and 2. There's a lot of Lamborghinis, there's a lot of Ferraris. Give me the cameras this time? You're going to give me the cameras? No, you're not. Oh, yes, you are. Yes, you are. That's the camera. Well done, PlayStation. Well done. Well working the race. You watch. Yeah, just need to sort these lobbies out. Look, they're just skipping across track. The camera's jinking across track. It hurts my eyes to watch it. I'm sure it hurts your eyes. Practice laps in them for race 2. Ferrari versus Ferrari, Potter and Janio. as well. Fubuki then giving us the good look, let's go symbol in the chat. And here we go then, race 2, ready to go. LFC fan on pole position for this one. Complete reverse grid from race 2. Let's see how they get on. Again, a little bit of a tricky circuit here at Tokyo. Lights going red then. We wait for them to drop and go green. Everybody away well. It is Valtteri leading over LFC fan. Getting a good start then, Valtteri. LFC fan second, Manning third, P. Gibb fourth, Fubuki in fifth. Pot tucked under his rear wing for 6th, Janio 7th, Weeks in 8th, under pressure from Dylan though, also under pressure from Don and Faithless Emo. That is Irakram, not having a great start to last week's second race, ended up getting shunted onto the gravel. It's up the inside of Faithless Emo though, through he goes then, Irakram into 10th, Faithless Emo pushed to 11th, P. Gibb in 12th. Pickles all the way at the back of the pack at the minute. Second race 1 here tonight. Literally led it all the way. LFC fan back into the front. Valtteri lost a couple of positions, getting the hairpin a bit wrong then. That has allowed Manny to go through as well. A little bit of a cork in the bottle as he's got all these other drivers ganging up behind him, Ferraris, McLarens, God knows what else, hunting him down. Oh, it's a little bit of chaos, struggling to keep it pointing in the right straight line. Valtteri's got tangled up with Mocking Weeks as well somehow. A little bit of bumper cars going through there again with that many cars all vying for position. It's never going to be pretty, unfortunately. Valtteri coming off worse, front end and rear end damage, and back of the grid as well, back of the pack. What a work to do. LFC fan in the Ferrari up front and leading, being chased by Manny. Ultimate Pop got himself into 3rd position as well, just under a second behind these two. Fubuki 4th, Janio 5th, Dylan 6th, Faithless Emo 7th, Irakram in 8th. Dylan having a look at Potter, no. Dylan having a look at Janio. McLaren versus Ferrari, McLaren wins out on that one. Making a little bit more headway. There is now 1.4 seconds between 2nd and 3rd. Under pressure from Fubuki here, coming into the hairpin. Most up the inside. Has he got the power to get it on the way out though? Still side by side on the exit. Potter's got a slight advantage on the exit as he holds that inside line and holds onto it. Loses a bit of time to those top 2 though. Nearly into the wall. Oh, Dylan has to swerve across the track. He's now having a look side by side. He's got himself past Fubuki, although Fubuki's got a toe off of Potter. Oh, get tricky through here again. There you go, you see, it's not wide enough really to go for a manoeuvre at these speeds. Janio having another look at Fubuki as well. A little bit of wall contact. Fubuki hugging that inside line though. Straight past Potter as well, Dylan. He's had to take the wide line. Potter's kept himself in front, but for how much longer? McLaren pulling up next to him, trying to get the power down. Ferrari doing everything it can. Dylan holds on to it. Unfortunately, that nudges Potter a little bit wide, just leaves the door open for Janio to come through as well. Oh, Potter's pinballed into the wall on the exit of that corner and fired himself. That could be his race over. Well, he will be at the back of the pack. We are still quite early on. Just saw him go peeling off. Dylan has closed up on these two though. dragged Janio with him, so it's now a top 4 fight for first. LFC fan leads. Manny right behind him for second. Dylan right behind him for third. Janio right behind him for fourth. Hirakram just 2 seconds back, being hounded by the other Toyota on circuit, Faithless. Don and Fubuki side by side. Side by side on the exit as well. Fubuki does get through into 7th then. Don in 8th, Mocky Weeks 9th, P. Gibb in 10th, Fat Pickles in 11th, Valtteri 12th, and unfortunately I think Potomac Pot has left the room. Yes, he has. So Janio now up front, LFC fan second. It's going to be 3 wide coming into the hairpin. Oh, tricky. Who's going to win out here? Dylan gets the inside line. Don and Janio, who's it going to be? It is still Janio, just Dylan holds the inside line, coming into the corner there. Gives him the advantage, takes the lead again. Janio second, LFC fan third. Hirakram fourth, now tucked onto the back end of this top 3 fight. Got Manny right in the slipstream as well as Faithless. A little bit of wall contact there for Faithless. Don in 7th then, harassing Fubuki. Mockin in 9th. Gibb 10th, Fat Pickles in 11th, and Valtteri now a little way back, 3.3 seconds. So Dylan into the lead, pulled a little bit of a gap over Janio. Janio almost takes out Dylan and almost takes out himself. Hirakram in the meantime slots his way up the inside of LFC fan, into third he goes. Now he's just got to chase down these top 2 drivers. LFC fan having a comeback at Hirakram around this tricky right-hander. Who's going to win out on that one? Let's jump on board with Janio looking back at this fight. It is LFC fan that's got himself back into third, Hirakram fourth then. Now the top 2 are starting to pull away. LFC fan more than a second behind. Dylan just 0.6 of a second ahead of Janio. So Janio's just got to be careful he doesn't allow Dylan to escape. Slamming it down the gears. Dylan goes a little bit wide through there, but doesn't lose much time really. The gap's still at half a second. Gap behind is getting slightly bigger. That is now at 1.3 seconds. There is Hirakram in fourth then. Can he get his way back past LFC fan? A tiny bit of gap between themselves and Faithless. Hirakram has got himself past, there you go, into third. Now, will LFC fan close back up? Not on this straight, he won't. Brings Faithless Emo back into the fight as well. He now gets the toe off of LFC fan in front. Manny just out of that toe range. He's in 6th, 1.1 seconds back. He's got Fubuki, Don and Mocking Weeks. P. Gibb for company. Take on enough fuel this time, Mr. Gibb. Fat Pickles in 11th, a little way back, 2.7 seconds, but he has made his way past Valtteri. Again, Potomac Pot not having a great week, so he decided to step out for race 2. Now Dylan escaped. Janio's let it happen, 1.8 seconds the gap. And Now that could be it now. Dylan could just be getting off. That might be all you see is that gap getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We'll see what Janio can do though. There is Hirakram in third. He is 1.3 seconds back, so also not gaining an advantage. Look at the battle kicking off here for fifth. Fourth. Fubuki takes that position. It's Manny and Don. Mocking Weeks. Faithless. P-Gib and LFC fan all vying out for that fourth position, but it is Fubuki that's taken that. Oh, sorry, there he is. He's now got 1.2 seconds over fifth place Don. Still battling it out for fifth now. There's Don leading the charge for that mid-pack battle. Very, very close. Let's go and see what the gaps are like up the front again. There you go, Dylan now 2.6 seconds away from Janio. Tyres looking good. Plenty of fuel on board for Dylan. Tyres looking slightly better than Janio's. Hirakram's also closed that gap up on Janio as well. That's down to 0.7 of a second. Could be pushing for second here anytime soon then, Hirakram. 18.05 will be jumping up and down in his seat. If he sat down, of course. Still 3/4 of a second in it between these two. Fubuki has closed that gap up on the top three as well, so he's just 0.9 of a second behind them. Running well in the McLaren then. Fubuki in fourth. Keeps it just out of the wall. I'll say that, there's a big scrape down the front wing. There you go, Dylan a little bit further down the road, 3 seconds now. Hirakram still 0.7 of a second behind Janio. Fubuki still 0.9 of a second back. Nobody gaining an advantage just yet then. Up a 10th into the hairpin. Can he keep it on the exit? Yes, he can. It does look like the Ferrari's got a little bit more power on board than the Toyota though. Stretches that gap up to back up to 0.7 of a second for a time there. It has dropped back down to 0.4 of a second. So now a little bit of a straight where Hirakram can possibly have a run on Janio here. Yeah, looks like they're racing the bullet train as well on the right hand side. We win, Japan. Better bring Godzilla out next time. Doesn't get the move done down this straight. Hirakram keeps himself firmly bolted onto the back end of Janio though, just 0.4 of a second in it still. Ferrari just looks to have a teensy little bit more power on board than the Supra or the GT86 that Hirakram's running in. Oh, but Janio's gone deep through there. Oh, he's managed to keep the power on though, but look at the time he's lost. Unable to get past, unfortunately, Hirakram. Just jumping about these lobbies just a tiny bit. So 0.2 of a second in it. And coming down. So he will close up again. There's not many opportunities to go for an overtake down here. He needs to stay bolted onto the back end of Janio. Maybe go for a move into the hairpin. He's closing up, trying to get up the inside. God knows what's happened to Janio's car. Who can tell where he is on circuit? But has managed to just get his nose up the inside of Janio, and he holds that inside line into the hairpin. Should give him a comfortable second place. There it is. But Fubuki now tucked under the rear wing of Janio as well. Three-way battle here for second now. It's all down to Hirakram to hold on to it. Coming up to this tricky set of S's before the start finish line. track glitching. Oh, disgusting. So it just turns into darkness here at Tokyo. Hirokram gets half a second. Janio's a little bit concerned with a mirror full. I said a mirror full. He's now got a side window full of Fubuki. Who's going to win out before third? It is Fubuki. Outbreaks Janio, gets himself into third. Oh, a little contact to the wall for Hirokram. And if I just flick this camera around, where's Dylan? Nowhere. 4.1 seconds. You'll just see him. There he is. Come back. 4.3 seconds up the road, Dylan. This is what happens if you let Dylan escape. He is pretty unstoppable. Fubuki then now tucked under the rear wing of Hirokram, looking for second. Tiny catch of the wall, but in a good position. He'll get a good tow if he can stay on the back of Hirokram. He's not looking likely to catch Dylan at the minute. Dylan just looking to stretch his time up to about 3.4 seconds here. Fubuki is looking to retake that second off of Hirokram. Nowhere for him to go yet. The run down to the hairpin maybe, but I can imagine Hirokram's going to take a nice tight line. No, he's not. So we do see Fubuki then slot one up the inside here. Oh, but he puts the power down a little bit too early on the exit, spins the rear up, drops the position and drops himself down to fourth position. Oh, it was looking good for Fubuki. Got himself cleanly past Hirokram. Just spun those rear tyres up. Now he's got to do it all again. Nearly 17 minutes into this race then. Dylan happily just pootling around, all on his own. 4.2 second lead. 13 minutes left to race. Camera, where were you going? So Hirokram holding on to that second. Janio just getting that third place off of Fubuki as well with that slight mistake went out of the hairpin. But look how much he's tucked. I say he's tucked. I've just caught him again. Forget filling the side mirror, the rear view mirror. I'm going to fill your side window full of car. Has he got the power to get past? He has before they get into the hairpin and closes the gap back up on Hirokram. Oh, has he gone too deep into the hairpin again? No, Janio tries to come back at him, but just not quite able to get that Ferrari turned in tight enough to get past the McLaren. And here they go again then. Battle kicking off behind as well. We've got Mocking Weeks being hunted by Don for 5th and 6th. And then in the background we've got Fat Pickles fending off Faithless Emo and P. Gibb for 7th as well. Manny unfortunately been in the pits, 23.24 seconds down now. LFC fan has been in the pits as well. Valtteri has also stopped. So we are starting to see drivers throw themselves in the pits then. Extra points for drifting? No, unfortunately I don't think there is. I think first place is a bit of an ask, to be honest. Dylan, like I say, what, 5.2, nearly 5.3 seconds ahead now. Janio into the hairpin. Catches the slipstream on the way in, gets himself past Hirokram into second. We've just seen who else was it? Fubuki, that's who it was. We've just seen Fubuki enter the pits and come back out. Back on track in the 9th then. Just taking on board fuel again, Fubuki. That's what you might see a lot of drivers do, just take on board fuel. Tyres still looking pretty good on some of these cars, but they are starting to run out of fuel. Dylan then 6.2 seconds. Probably be able to get in the pits and back out before these two come round. Janio then still holding second. Oh, excuse me. But for how much longer? Hirokram then gets a good run on him. Side by side through the tunnel. Hirokram into the lead then again, second place as they come running up to this hairpin. Comes onto it through there. Again, we will see these drivers come in the pits at some point. Still the Toyota holding a little bit more fuel on board than Janio's Ferrari. So we might see Janio coming at the end of this lap. He might brave out another lap, but I don't know if he will. Dylan still pulling time up front in that McLaren, 6.9 seconds now. And to be honest, 1805, who can tell if it's drifting or bloody glitching these days? Could be either. Dylan, stop it. He does enter the pits with a 7.1 second lead. Hirakram follows him. Oh, does he? No, he doesn't. Oh yes, he does. Apologies. Him and Janio come in the pits. Mocky Weeks follows suit, as does Don. Faithless Emo into the pits. Fat Pickles into the pits. P. Gibb into the pits. For Buki already stopped. So coming up to pit entrance. Now coming up to pit exit. Oh, a little collision into the wall. He's carrying a lot more speed up the hill. Gets himself into second then, 5.2 seconds behind Dylan. So Dylan has managed to get a fresh set of tyres on and taken on board fuel. So now there's nobody's got a chance. Unless the aliens come and abduct him, or Gojira comes and stamps on his car, or the bullet train explodes next to him, it's not happening. It's 4.9 seconds. Fresh set of boots on for Buki on the hunt, but he's only got fuel to play with. His semi-worn set of racing softs. Hirakram unfortunately has come out with a fresh set of boots on, so might be able to make short work of Fubuki's second place. Mocking Weeks has only taken on board fuel. He's managed to squeeze himself into fourth position. Janio has come out with fresh tyres on. Don has come out with fresh tyres on. P. Gibb has left the tyres alone. Fat Pickles has left the tyres alone. Faithless Emo has got a fresh set on. Manny has got a fresh set on. LFC has got a fresh set on. And Valtteri put a fresh set on. So not everybody taking on board tyres then. How long can Fubuki hold on to second place? What have we got? 8 minutes remaining. Just under. He's got just under a second gap between himself and Hirakram as well. But that gap is coming down pretty damn quick. Dragging Mocking Weeks with him as well. They are still pretty close on circuit, to be honest. They've got to do it at some point. 1805, it's ridiculous. It's got to be something to do with their lobbies, their servers. So Dylan then stretches out another little bit of lead here. 5.6 seconds on those fresh tyres. Fubuki still holding second. I did just see Hirakram bump into the wall then. I thought I saw him start to spear himself across the road, but he has slowed down a little bit. That's brought Mocking Weeks right into the slipstream range. Again, fresh set of tyres versus a huge set of tyres between Hirakram and Mocking, but we'll see what happens. Janio, who was in that fight for second, now fifth position. Don right behind him as well, just a second between these two, so battling for position. P. Gibb, Fat Pickles, neck and neck as well. Neither driver taking on board tyres, just fuel. Faithless, fresh set of tyres, but being harassed by... Oh, sorry, no, who's he chasing? He's chasing Fat Pickles. No, he's not. Oh, he is chasing Fat Pickles, but he's away back 2.8 seconds. Manny in 10th, 4.2 seconds back. LFC found another 3 seconds down in 11th. And Valtteri, unfortunately, 20 seconds down in 12th. So back up front. More time being found by Dylan. 5.7, 5.8 seconds. But Hirakram then all over the back of Fubuki for this second. And they're just coming into the area where he'll be able to make his move. Get ourselves on board with Hirakram. Oh, look at the switchback straight up the inside. Just positioned his car perfectly on the run into that corner. Got the switchback on Fubuki. Gets gets himself past, but Fubuki is not messing around. Oh, he's clattered into the wall though. See, that slowed him down a little bit. Put himself under pressure from Mocking Weeks as they come running through these S's down towards this hairpin. Holding the inside line a little bit here. What's happened here? Where's Mocking Weeks gone? There he is. Lucky Fubuki was on the outside of Hirakram there. I thought Mocking Weeks would be able to get the power down and get himself up the inside, but he hasn't made that work just yet. So back on with outboard cameras. Dylan then 6.6 seconds up the road. 4.5 minutes left to race. Hirakram into second, being harassed by a Fubuki and a Mocking Weeks. Second, third and fourth. Janio on those fresh tyres is starting to close up a little bit on Mocking Weeks. Still got P1 Don in just hanging on to him. Just under a second between these two, Ferrari versus Ferrari. P Gibb being harassed by Fat Pickles a little bit more as well. So will he hold on to this 7th position? It looks like he's got enough fuel on board this race. Oof, just catch Faithless Emo. Taking a bit more paint off that car. It won't go any faster without that paint on Faithless. Stop it. Rick Nolan, howdy, how goes the racing? The racing's been pretty good, to be honest, here at Tokyo. Race 1 was pretty good. I'm not allowed to say anything because 1805 will beat me up. Yeah, I think you're right there at 1805. The crossplay is causing a fair bit of it. Yes, the racing's going pretty good, Rick. It usually is. These are the elite drivers in the GTTCC. As you can see, I mean, race 1, we had 3 drivers, Fat Pickles, Dylan and Hirakram, literally bumper to bumper around Tokyo East. Just nobody could get past Fat Pickles in that. Almost into the wall for Dylan. He was in the Bugatti for race 1. It's such a big car with a little bit of extra power. He wasn't able to hold on to it though. Hirakram took it right at the very end. Oh, Fubuki. Mocking Weeks, he was having a go at Fubuki. I saw those positions change, but then looks like he's had to back off. Maybe made a little bit of a mistake with the wear on those tyres. That's allowed Fubuki to escape, but it has put him under pressure from Janio and Don here. Mocking Weeks is now trying to hang on to 4th. He's not hunting for 3rd anymore. Yeah, Tokyo tracks are good. But again, Dylan just finding time. Look, now 7.6 second. What was he? He was about 5.8 last time. So he's found about 1.5 seconds somewhere. Still plenty of life left in those softs, look. And those for the whole season if he keeps it up like this. 2 minutes left then. So one more lap once they cross the line. A very, very comfortable race for Dylan. Once he got himself in front. Again, you just cannot let this man escape. Once you've fallen out of the slipstream range of him, he is just so consistent. It is so difficult to catch back up with him. You've got to be on point, perfect with your throttle and brake at every point to try and hang on to him. Still kicking off here though for second. Fubuki doing everything he can to try and hang on to Hirakram. So Hirakram did stop, put a fresh set of tyres on, came back out, what, 5th or 6th? Maybe a little bit higher, but Fubuki now on the run down towards the hairpin, having a look. Hirakram's got the inside line, under braking. He's going to hold on to it. Fubuki should have really tried to back off, maybe make Hirakram brake into the goal. Little stoof. Thought he'd managed to get it up the inside there, but a little tail wiggle again coming out of the hairpin. We've seen him do that before. Just put him off. He's having another look here. Oh, he's backed off again. This is it then. Final lap, 30 seconds left on the race timer. It's now or nothing for Fubuki. Oh, a little glitch and a glance of the wall. Unfortunately, that's going to slow him down a tiny bit more. He's still within tow range though. So Dylan crosses the line then to start his last lap. Hirakram and Fubuki just coming up to the line themselves. Locking Weeks holding on to that fourth. He's still under pressure though from Janio and Don here. Ferrari, McLaren. Oh, Janio trying to hold the inside line. All kicking off here then on this last lap. What's happening in this battle behind? Fat Pickles has managed to get his way past P. Gibb. Can he hang on to it to the end of the race? Faithless Emo crosses the line. He gets an extra lap. Manny crosses the line though once the time has finished. So he takes 10th. LFC Fan is going to take 11th. Valtteri will take 12th. I said that. I said he'd have time to go in the pits, get fuel and tyres and still come out up front. And yeah, he did it. Like I say, he's just he's so consistent, that man. Valtteri then, a great big handbrake across the road, takes that 12th position. And here comes Dylan. Now almost 8-second lead over Hirakram. Still finding time, Dylan. Must be lobbing parts of the car out the window as he's driving down the street just to make it lighter. Drinking the fuel. I don't know what he's doing. He's doing something. 8.3 seconds, nearly 8.4. Let's just gain some more time, shall we, Dylan? What we should do is get you to race like 20-30 minutes of a Ghost, and we'll record it and you can race your bloody self. Too quick. 8.5 seconds pretty much as he comes around this final corner then onto the start finish straight. He could almost get out and walk and still finish first here then, Dylan. 8.2, nearly 8.3 seconds as he comes up to the line. First and a third then for Dylan. Hirakram coming up to the line as well, taking second. Bit of a gap between himself and Fubuki then at the end of it. Fubuki takes third. Mocking Weeks just holds on to fourth position. Janio and P1 Don right there with him for fifth and sixth. Fat Pickles Bro takes seventh. P. Gibb comes home in eighth. He has got enough fuel this time. Faithless takes ninth. Manny took 10th. LFC Fan 11th and Valtteri 12th. That's it. Dylan low on fuel. Dylan's always low on fuel. He runs it literally. He's played this game so much. He could probably tell you how many laps he can do in whatever car, at whatever settings you tell him. That's the way some of these drivers are. So there you go, results. Dylan takes the win. Hirakram second, Fubuki third, Mocking Weeks in fourth, Janio fifth, Don in sixth, Fat Pickles seventh, P. Gibb in eighth, Faithless ninth, Manny in 10th, LFC Fan in 11th, Valtteri in 12th, and unfortunately Potter McPot did not finish. So not a good start to the season for Potter. Unfortunately, he didn't make last week either. So not many points on the board for him next week. But I'll obviously get those read out to you as and when they're updated. But that is about it from me this week. I've got the P1 boys. Is it the final race this week on Sunday with the GR2 Nissans at 9 o'clock? We've got the Team Oliver Racing League, the GR3 Sponsored League is back on Wednesday at 8:30. 2 lobbies open for that one. We've got the Pros and the Pro-Ams. Slightly different setup. So the Pros is full tuning. The Pro-Ams is not. and then we're back on Friday night. Same again. Friday night, 9 o'clock, GTTCC. So Sunday night, 9 o'clock for the P1 Nissans. The final race. We've got the debut new season of the Team Oliver Racing GR3 League on Wednesday at 8:30, and then round 3 of GTTCC on Friday night again. Come and check it out. But that's about it from me. I hope you like what you watched. If you have, give it a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, 1805. But most of all, tell your mates, tell your mums. I'm Start Smoker. I'm out of here.